All right, guys. Up next, we are actually going to do the sugar baby watermelons. Again, with some of the dirt or the soil that I refurbished last night with compost, bone meal, blood meal, and all-purpose fertilizer. These are ready to go. So essentially, we're gonna get these planted in here. And we're doing one plant per fabric bag. Ooh, that soil feels so nice. All right. We've got our sugar baby. And we will thin this one out right here. In fact, it's already breaking off, so we're just gonna take that and throw that out. We already looked at these, but you can see some decent rooting right there. Decent start. Nothing too special with this, just giving it a nice home. Give it a good pat there. Get back whatever dirt we took out of it. I do have a set of cages that I switch off of my pea plants because the peas typically are getting done around right now, and then I will switch them to my sugar baby watermelons. And just having the same setup as my peas, they can climb and set fruit and hang from that support system, which it works out perfectly. So we've got one set there. Let's move that to the side a little bit. And we got one more to plant here. But I looked at the weather, and the reason that we're getting these in right now is that the weather is looking pretty good for the next 10 days. Looks like most nights are gonna stay up above 50 degrees, which is kind of my spot to start planting the warmer weather crops like peppers, watermelon, you know, that type of stuff, cucumbers. All right. And we did forget to put that tag in, just to remind us what that is. And again, we got another sugar baby watermelon. And when we grow these out this year, I will prune these plants down to 2 fruit generally per plant. That's the way I've grown and the way I've had some success with these things, so I'm just going to continue doing that. And hopefully we're going to leave a little bit of room for some straw on the top here. We won't do the straw now because I want to be able to watch the soil and see how it's drying out and how to water. And that's kind of the way that I do things, is that I kind of observe the soil and the way it's drinking first and foremost, to try to make sure that I'm watering properly and giving it, you know, everything that it needs as far as nutrients and water and, you know, a good environment to live in. But these are pretty much ready to go. In fact, let me just get the wand and we'll get these watered in. All right. Let's get this watered in. And I'm going to wash off the bottom of the plant a little bit. And since this was brand new soil, or not brand new, but we just refurbished it and it was a little bit dry, we're going to give it quite a bit of water all the way around. All right, and those are ready to be supported. We'll get these off to the side and start working on that as we get some peas pulled. Hey guys. All right, so we've got our 2 sugar baby watermelons right here. These are the support racks that I use for these. I've had these for years. I think I got them at Lowe's or Home Depot to start, but just a simple little grid with some stakes that essentially hold it in. And I've interwoven the stakes. These aren't used the way they're supposed to be, but I wove them in so that it's a stronger hold for everything, so that it doesn't move as much when the watermelons are on it or when peas have a lot of fruit set. And then on these sides here, I just push those down so that you can get down right on the soil there. Then you can just start training this thing through the trellis. And it's gonna love growing there. So we'll take that one. Then we got our second one here. You can see again, all these things are interwoven. Got a little bit of a weird bend there, but let's go ahead and put that in right behind where it's falling. And again on the side, just pinch those down. And there we go. And it may not look like much, but it will hold. I've had 2-3 sugar baby watermelons on these, and they'll hold just fine. The stakes go plenty deep and give it a good amount of hold there. So, and once the weight actually gets on it, it actually holds it a little bit better too. So yeah, at this point, those will be going into the sun here a little later on today. I don't want to shock all of these things today. You can see right here, we have our 2 sugar baby watermelon plants. Nice full sun out here. Out in the front yard here, this is where we have some of the watermelons and nasturtium, obviously, a smaller one in the back one behind me here that you'll get a good look at here. But I planted 2 watermelons. These are the Sweet Beauties, and these are going to be the big honkers. So should be pretty big, and hopefully they do well out here. But I'm going to give them plenty of space to sprawl and see kind of how they do. This one out in the back here, this one here I planted about 3 or 4 days ago, and so we'll have the 2 big ones out here, each with a nasturtium in them. And this was just a volunteer from last year, but we're going to go ahead and let those 2 sprawl. We might get 1 more out here, but in total we've got 2 Sweet Beauties here, 2 over there, and then we've got a total of 2 of the sugar baby watermelons over on the side there that we showed you earlier. But that'll be our watermelons for this year. This front area is not really my area to tool around with, but my neighbors are kind enough to let me use it for these purposes. I also planted some Roma tomatoes out here that I'll show you a little clip of also, along with some gladiolus that I planted some bulbs out here for. So just trying to beautify the area a little bit. Here's the 2 Romas that I planted up here. I got those from Portland Nursery. And then we've got some gladiolus bulbs that are planted all the way across there. So hopefully this comes out pretty nice. I had refurbished all of this soil this year with a bunch of different amendments. And we just refurbished all the soil in those 2 bags that we use for the watermelons. So everything should have a good chance to grow this year, and I'm looking forward to seeing it all fruit and flower.